We're racing in GP2, a slow getaway from Cecotto, lots of wheel spin, great start from Mitch Evans. Alongside Cecotto now comes Fabio Lima, trying to go around the outside, lock up and brakes, and Evans takes the lead, Cecotto has ruined that, and over the top of him goes Fabio Lima. Carambolage at turn one.
Okay, that's going to be red flag probably.
Must be red flagged.
And then we see, you know, even Lima brakes, but you know, and Lima cannot turn because just Cecotto goes straight. I mean, he's not anywhere near making the corner.
So let's have a look ahead of us as Cecotto goes straight in.
He's not aggressive at all. It's just he's got no room to go to.
And there's just nowhere to go, is there?
There's nowhere to go. And I don't think his suspensions are damaged, but you see Cecotto is not even trying to make the corner. Just
crazy. Oof. Tell you, Jolien was lucky there with all the debris coming up. Riding on board with Alexander Rossi, right in the middle of the mix. Lock up, gets it turned in, and then just... And it was Palmer being spun that caused all of that, wasn't it?
Nervous, just 170 horsepower under the feet. The lights are red, waiting to go to green. They go green, and there's a jump start already by Angelelli there, and Vantra both, I think, jumped the start. We saw him, couldn't hang on any longer. They pour into Sainte Devote for the first time. And at the moment it's Paccioni, but behind Claudia Hurtgen is hit. She's turned over. She goes into the barriers upside down, and that brings Sasha Masson almost to a halt as well. Claudia Hurtgen, the only girl in the race. The car is upside down. That's Willy Weber. Delara. They're turning the car back over onto its wheels. As she turned in, she was hit from behind. She's moving around. She looks all right, but I think she's hurt her hand probably. She's showing the marshals she's in considerable pain. They're calling for medical assistance.
Oh, what's happened here? This is under safety car conditions, and that is David Porcelli, who somehow has managed to go off the American up at Sainte Devote. So, he's lost it under braking, under the safety car, and straight into the barrier. That's a huge, huge hit. And Porcelli, who got going at the Lowe's hairpin, trying to catch the rest of the field up, so running at a quicker speed than he should have been going at.
The double yellow is being waved, Martin, down at Sainte Devote, and it's for Felipe Massa, who's gone off at Sainte Devote for the second day running. It's another big accident for Felipe Massa. Let's see what happens to Felipe Massa. Another lock-up, absolutely identical crash, or start of the crash, to yesterday.
That's bizarre. It's exactly the same accident he had in practice, except he didn't quite go head-on into the tyre barriers, but the same cause.
Oh, well, that's not going to help at all. Another car in the barrier at Sainte Devote, and a red flag. Artem Markelov. And that is going to be very difficult to get the tyres up to temperature. Markelov, oh dear, that is a clumsy one. Knew he was going, well, he's panicked there, really, hasn't he? Oh, big impact, and you see pushing the, not only pushing the Tech Pro, but pushing the Armco back as well.
But he drove a very intelligent race.
And that's Piquet's car and Patrese going off. Riccardo Patrese in the Alfa Romeo. And this is lap 17. And Piquet and Patrese both out. And that is Fabi's car. So Piquet, Patrese and Fabi in a tremendous coming together.
I think there is not responsibility of Patrese or Piquet. It's a typical accident of Monte Carlo, and both driver was really lucky.
Starting to think a little bit comfortable. This could be why you shouldn't be feeling too comfortable for a while. And Verstappen goes straight into the barrier at Sainte Devote, and he clipped Romain Grosjean, and that really was a very nasty impact indeed. From some of the fans who heard that in the grandstands, and I'm sure watching throughout the world, everyone Very, very relieved to see Max Verstappen getting out of the car. We have a virtual safety car.
He just misread that, it got in hot. I think he would have made the move. He tried to do the dummy and switch sides. And
puis on a son équipier ici. Oula, il y a un problème. Dans les pneus, il est Luciano Borti. Oula, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé là?
Il est sorti où là? Puis il est bien endommagé la voiture.
Oui, oui, oui.
Tout l'arrière est cassé.
Mais c'est après son évacuation de la piste, ça, parce que on imagine mal. Ah voilà, c'est à Sainte Devote. Ok. On comprenait difficilement la position de la voiture de Luciano Borti qui se trouvait à la hauteur des véhicules de sécurité. Et en fait, il est allé très loin quand même. Peut-être une défaillance des freins, Johnny, pour en arriver là, non?
Allez savoir.
C'est compliqué à...
On revoit l'image depuis le début.
And a part of track approach blindly. Oh, and another huge accident.
No, that is a big one.
And that is Mindert van Buren, who is pointing skyward and is going to recover some retrieval.
He went pretty much head on in, didn't he, Ben?
Absolutely. Here's another look at it then. And Van Buren trying for the move very early on, as he's entitled to do. And Bonifacio, it was never on for Mindert van Buren. And the cars, the problem being the cars were locked together, and therefore there was nothing that Bruno Bonifacio could do to slow it down.
Look at the petrol coming out of it. Look at the petrol coming out of that. I mean, look, you see the petrol? Oh, no, that's not. That's coolant. And that's his extinguisher going off. That's his extinguisher going off in the background, which should have been set off. I thought for a second that was petrol, but it wasn't.
Well, glad to see that every precaution being taken with Bruno Bonifacio. If you have just joined us, and obviously that picture looks quite unpleasant. We should say Bruno got out of the car under his own speed. There he is. He's waving to the crowd.